I stared down at my untouched steak. My son, Leo, 18 years old, stood beside his uncle. My ex-wife, Sarah, sat across the table, giving me a polite smile. I had paid for the dinner, rented out the back patio of his favorite steakhouse, and covered everything. I didn't shout or make a scene. I stood up, hugged Leo, and whispered, "I'm so proud of the man you're becoming." Then I walked out to my truck and drove home. By the time I reached the interstate, my phone was full of calls from Sarah, Leo, and Marcus. I ignored them all. Marcus had been in Leo's life since he was 12. He took him to baseball games and spent time with him. I never resented Marcus. What I resented was the false story that I was an absent father. For years, Sarah created that image. Whenever it was my weekend with Leo, there was always an excuse, a fever, a school trip, or a sleepover. I never argued in front of my son. The next morning, I opened the lockbox under my bed. Inside were bank statements proving every child support payment was made on time, receipts for braces, summer camps, laptops, and hundreds of emails where I begged to spend time with Leo. Sarah's replies were always excuses. There was also the receipt for the leather hiking backpack I bought Leo for his 16th birthday. Sarah refused to give it to him, saying he wasn't responsible enough. A month later, Marcus bought him a cheaper one and was praised for it. I didn't write an emotional letter. I simply made 3 binders containing every piece of evidence. One went to Sarah, one to Marcus, and one to Leo's dorm room. A week later, Marcus called. "David, I had no idea. Sarah told me you stopped trying years ago. She even said you wouldn't pay for his braces." "I know, Marcus," I replied. "You only believed what you were told." 2 days later, Leo knocked on my door. He walked inside, placed the binder on the kitchen island, and opened it to the emails. "You didn't miss my 14th birthday," he whispered. "No, Leo. I was there. Your mom told me you were at a friend's house." He turned another page and found the receipt for the backpack. "She threw it away? She said she donated it." Leo lowered his head, overwhelmed. "I told everyone you never even bought me a backpack. I made you look like a monster." I placed a hand on his shoulder. "You were a kid, Leo. You believed the story you were given. I don't blame you." He looked at me with tears in his eyes. "How do we fix this? One day at a time." After that, Leo stopped speaking to his mother for a while. A week later, he called me, not because he had to, but because he wanted to hear his dad's voice. We're rebuilding our relationship. It isn't perfect, and it isn't easy, but for the first time, it's built on the truth.